years, and yeah, don't ever think I'll stop doing it. It's mad. Like when I was a little kid to adult, I played heaps of different sports, but yeah, I did a little bit of gymnastics, but left because I got made to cry from my coach. I was a lifesaver for a while. It was cool. Yeah, for fitness stuff, when I first started out, I did a bit of weights, did lots of flexibility, and did general fitness to get my body to a point where I can do stuff and fall over and not go home on crutches and stuff like that. Still go home and be able to trick the next day and just have general fitness to do stuff.
Answering that question again.
I forgot what it was.
Back in 2002, you were saying, like, what's tricking, what was the community like in Australia when you started? Because you were one of the first.
Man, when I started, there was no community to speak of. It was sort of like, went online looking for other trickers that even knew what the word tricking meant or what the tricks were, or beach whisk gainer, like flash kick, all that stuff was, but rarely met anyone. If I did, it was a martial artist who only got as far as 540, or was a gymnast who got as far as a flash kick. And then, yeah, when I started, it was just non-existent pretty much.
And from there, how did you meet other trickers in Australia? How did it move forward from there?
I met Jono, who was the first other person that was actually interested in tricking and would actually like to learn new things. But because of his gymnastic background, he had like a big advantage over me. So when I met him, it just sort of led to Alvin, led to other dudes, and then met people randomly that started coming to our gym, and then just sort of built up. Did the ATG, now we're here.
Sweet.
Yeah. Maybe because we're late in the game, like Australia gets everything a lot later. So maybe I reckon we just have we didn't come from martial arts, we didn't quite come from gymnastics, we didn't quite come from anything really. We just sort of, this little tucked away country with 20 million people that just, a few people a couple of years ago just happened to come across tricking and wanting to build it up. I guess for us it's like we came out of nowhere, but at least we're going somewhere. Kind of makes sense, yeah? Yeah, I've been to Loop Kicks in 2008 and NZTG last year. Yeah, but the biggest one I guess was Loop Kicks, because I saw all these dudes from when I started, like Anise, Sesh, and even the old guys like Manny Brown, and I feel like after them, they were like superhuman to what I was like back when I was 16, like some fat little turd who couldn't quite lift his leg above that height without getting a strain. So seeing them at Loop Kicks and actually meeting them and realizing they're real people was pretty intense. So like, dream come true, and then you come back reset and actually have a good fix on what the community is like overseas and where you stand in it, and how big this shit is compared to just what we have in our little community. Yeah, Loop Kicks.
Sweet.
Yeah, doing double backs. First couple of tricks I wanted to learn, I got round off back, got beach whisk gainer and all that. Saw someone do double back, and yeah, that was one of the first big things I went for it. Started landing on a mat, came up and snapped that, and got a few pins and plates. Did a back layout, didn't land on my feet, went straight back and popped 3 things out of my spine. Then did the school musical the same week. And I did a flip, and I was like, I had to do it like stiff back, like, yeah. Well, it was mad.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah, no, it was sick. It was like year 11. It was like, well done for trying, Morgan. It was like,
I can't walk.
I had to leave. Yeah. Yeah, I guess for all the big trickers, definitely, because they're all sticky on the forum. But Manny Brown is like all over legs over there, but the other one's over there and shit. Definitely Anise, because whatever Anise does is just out of this world, even if it's a flash kick, it's still like, hey. Jamie Cologne, because I don't know how many skills and his tricks he goes for, we're very like-minded. So he does a lot of like hyper aerials and carry-throughs and lots of cool shit that I'm like, fuck man, how did he think of that when we had the same thought of trying to put that together, and yeah, I don't know, mind meld or something. But yeah, Velu, man, Volty, Jackie Break, all the little dudes that seem to have this really cool double spin factor that didn't quite seem to get when I was training and that young. That I don't know, maybe they learned it easier because everyone else does it now. I don't know, it's a really cool thing to watch the little dudes get triples and doubles and all that. Like evolution, especially in little people. And chicks are mad. Yeah, everyone should just make that little, maybe tiny bit more effort and just trying to get a few more girls in the community, because for them, I think it's really hard to come like to a gathering like this where there's 100 dudes, like advanced beginners, and they're still just like some crazy dudes. You need some supportive effort for the girls, because man, if they're here in any form, that's a big ups to them anyway. And just to even come to a trick session being the only girl, it's like being the only guy in a ballet class or like a dance class or something. It's a bit like, and yeah, it'd be good to have someone to just help you out if it was your first session or something like that.
Sweet.
And make samples of chicks. The more footage out there, the better. I had some tricks that I was thinking about doing, but in the last 2 months I just sort of just had this real like sort of chill out couple of months, and yeah, I didn't really care what tricks I landed. I just wanted to come and have a good time. When I get back though, I think I'll be more refreshed and ready to make some goals, because I think it's always important to go for goals, just not make them the only thing that you do tricking with. Yeah, just remember to have a good time, experiment with tricks, be a scientist, do little variations here and there, and just play around like everyone's doing now. It doesn't always have to be about the sampler or the status or stuff like that. Respect comes from being who you are. And that's mad. I guess for every person it's up to their own decision, because some people like to just chuck it and they land it, and they do it that way because maybe they have more skill prior to getting into tricking and they're used to doing something along the lines of it. Maybe like snowboarding, wakeboarding, skiing, I don't know, ice skating, Gary, mad tricks. Heaps of sports to get you into that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you got a gym, use it, because it just means you can have more attempts at trying it and working it out and figuring it out without hurting yourself, without not being able to trick for a week or two because you smashed your ankle on the grass, hit your head on concrete. Throughout 9 years I've aimed for different stuff through like different parts. So I guess for some years I'll be actually training to get like really hard moves, and I'll be like, oh man, I want to get this in a year's time or in a month's time or a week, a day or whatever. But sometimes I feel that gets in the way of actually enjoying the tricks. So I actually think too much about it rather than just relaxing and letting it come out. And yeah, I find the best tricking I do is when I just don't think and just like, man, maybe I'll land something, but it's just have mad times. And you just sort of like have a little session where you may not do tricks, but you're still like working up setups, and you just maybe like in the corridor at home or like grass or something like that. Just go through in your head training as well as physical training is sometimes just as important. Literally putting it together in your head, because everything starts as a thought, putting it together there and then making it into action. You can do that with either gym session, a grass session, a session in your backyard with basic kicks. You don't need to do doubles and like craziest beach twists and all that kind of stuff. You can just do simple kicks to work out how your legs move. It might make you better at corks and a lot of other things. But I did forget what the question was, and I've sort of gone off somewhere where I don't know where I am. Edit this out. Cut me into somewhere good. I enjoy brie, I enjoy Swiss, cheddar, camembert's mad. Yeah, when gymnastics and tricking, if they ever combined, I couldn't see it happening unless you stripped away some of the freedom that tricking gives you. Because gymnastics, we took the flips, tumbling. Yeah, all I can see when I watch people train gymnastics is the authority, and yeah, the leotards and all that. So I got a lot of my moves from girls' gymnastics. Axe to Webster. Yeah, chick did it. I was like, wow, he's sick. I want to do it.
That's one of your biggest moves now, yeah.
Yeah, that was my favourite move, Axe to Webster. And I got that from a girl gymnast. A lot of tumbling stuff that I sort of was like, that looks crazy and weird, was like 1980s girls gymnastics, which was way more creative than most of today. And all the gymnastics you see back in the past, it almost seems like that was when they had like a bit more freedom and they could do a lot of more crap. And it was all about sort of, yeah, I don't know, doing the coolest stuff, but now it's all about just keeping within the point system, which cuts half the moves, cuts all the creativity, cuts the freedom, and yeah, that's what I've seen in gymnastics.
Sweet.
Sorry for the gym I work at. So it started out with 10 kids, and then kids kept telling their friends, and it was all word of mouth, and just, I don't know, people seeing us down the beach, and we just tell them where we are and where we do our classes, and they just come. The schools we went to during the day, they just ask us our name, look us up on YouTube, find out the address and join. And yeah, it's all through friends of friends. Like, we didn't do any advertising or market media or any of that kind of bullshit. It's just all word of mouth. We had something good to offer. People liked it. They tell other people. We all get to enjoy it. It's the best way I think we can spread tricking.
How many kids do you have now?
Maybe 120. We've gone up and down though. Like, we've gone through like hundreds of different kids that have come for a short period. And we never see them again, and it's like, well, wonder where they're at now. Maybe they just can't afford to do the classes, but then they come back 2 years later and they've been training that whole time, and it's pretty cool to watch that, because a lot of kids think that if they start in the class, yeah, you're only a tricker if you stay in the class, but I'm teaching that, yeah. It's everywhere, it's just like you can do it at home, trampoline, all that. Classes sort of built themselves, we didn't have to do much in that respect. If you're going to get into it, I really recommend, especially starting with little kids, because if they're going to be the growing up next generation, if you can have some sort of part in what they're going to be doing now that leads into the future in the sport of tricking, it's pretty cool to have your name in there and just have yourself in there and being like, man, at least I put something good on this earth. Just do it. Just hurry up and do it. Just get balls and do it. It doesn't work all the time. But yeah, in general, you're just teaching them how to learn and how to pick up tricks. Pick up tricks, not chicks.